Hi, everyone. Um, I have a story to tell you today about magic, about creating magic with using resonance. And what I mean by that is whatever's happening in the world of form, whatever's happening circumstantially, to choose what you're believing, what your attitude is, what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and then what you're deciding and choosing because of that. That is how we create our resonance, and through resonance, we impact the world. We impact what's happening in the world around us. And so I had just finished a workshop for a week in Santa Barbara, and a big component of this workshop was about resonance causation, about how you create your reality or shift your reality through shifting your resonance. So I was supposed to fly out of Santa Barbara at 9:55 in the morning and connect in Phoenix, and then fly from Phoenix home to Calgary. And I got an email. When I woke up, there was an email from American Airlines saying your flight's been delayed by an hour. It's not leaving till 10:55. So I had really good friends in Santa Barbara, so I decided, okay, well, I'm going to chill out and I'm going to have coffee or breakfast with them and get to, have an extra hour with them. And then I'll go to the airport an hour later. And then I started to think, wow, that's going to be a really tight connection in Phoenix. It's only going to be 40 minutes for an international flight. And that is probably not going to work. Like, I'm probably not going to make that. So it's about 8 o'clock. I phone American Airlines and I say, I'm wondering what else we can do here. Can you protect this flight, first of all, and what else can we create so that I'm not going to miss a connection? And first of all, she said, well, I could get you to on a flight that would leave Phoenix at 9:30 at night. You get into Calgary at 12:40 a.m. And then I've got to drive to Banff for an hour and a half. And I'm like, okay, no, that's not going to be a good idea. So I said, what else? And she said, well, if you can still get to the airport for a 9:45 flight, there is a United flight that goes to San Francisco, 3-hour connection, and then home to Calgary by 6. And she said, but I don't know for sure, but if you want, I can try and get you on that flight. And I said, okay. And she said, okay, I'm just going to have to put you on hold and I'll let you know when I know. So she's got me on hold. I'm packing up my final things and, getting ready to make a run for the airport if need be. And it takes about half an hour, but finally at about 8:30, she says, okay, I've got you a ticket on this 9:45 flight. And I'm like, okay, I've still got to get to the airport. So I call the front desk to call me a taxi. And she just checks back in and says, okay, I just wanted to keep you on till I made sure I have a confirmation. I do. Here's your confirmation number. And they'll be expecting you at the airport. So I write all that stuff down and I go downstairs, and the cab is still not there, and it's 8:45. And I know it's like 20 minutes at least to the airport. So the valet's standing out there in the sun, hanging out, and I look at him and I say, wow, I've only got an hour till my flight takes off and the taxi isn't here. It's probably going to be pretty tight to make a flight, huh? And he's like, yeah, it's a small airport. You probably got lots of time. And it's so interesting because I noticed I am trying to get him to collude with me in a story of this, I'm probably going to miss my flight. Why am I doing that? And I love that he wasn't. He was just like, it's probably fine. So then my cab arrives. I get in the cab and I say to the cabbie, how long to the airport? And he said, about 15 minutes. And I said, okay, that's going to put me there about 45 minutes before my flight takes off. Do you think that'll be okay? And he said, oh yeah, it's a small airport. It'll probably be fine. So I went, okay. I don't know why I am trying to tell this story of I'm going to miss my flight, but I'm just going to let that go. So I get to the airport. It's about 10 after 9. I go up to the United counter, and there's a woman working there. Her name's Meryl, and she's got someone she's training or an assistant or something just standing behind her, kind of watching what she's doing, but not really someone who could make any decisions or add anything to the mix of possibility. Anyway, so Meryl, the ticket agent, I hand her my confirmation number and my thing on my phone that says the flight number and the time and all of that. And she looks at it all and she says, you don't have a ticket on this flight. And I said, but how is that possible? There's my confirmation number. And she said, whoever did this did it wrong. They confirmed a reservation on the flight, but they didn't actually buy you a ticket. You don't have a ticket on this flight. And she said, I can, if you want to try phone United, see if you can get another ticket. I can see if they'll, give you a little more time to board because it's a small plane and it's not full. And I said, okay, yes, that would be great. But she was like kind of, scowly and definitely in this place of like, this isn't going to happen. So anyway, she radios up to the gate and says, I have blah, 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 the situation, and can she come up a bit late? And they said, we'll give her 8 minutes to get here. And so she said, okay, so you got 8 minutes to figure this out. And I'm like, okay. And then she said, why don't we just go down? I'm going to take you down to the American counter. It was only like 50 yards away. And we'll just talk to them directly instead of on the phone. So we head down there. She calls a guy out of the back. Christian introduces us. This is Christian. He'll take it from here. And she goes back to her counter. And Christian gets on the phone to American and calls them and talks to them. And then after a few things, they put him on hold. So he says, I'm on hold, but the person, I'm so sorry, the person on the other end did not handle this properly, and you don't have a ticket. And I just really don't think that you're going to get on this flight. But we'll hold and we'll see. And I'm like, in that moment, I just said, okay, I am a magician. I can create getting on this flight. And I believe the universe wants to create it with me. So I'm just going to hold that magic is going to happen here. So then I'm just small talking with him, how long you lived here, blah, 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 while we're holding. And then all of a sudden he says, okay, we got you a ticket. We got you on the flight. I'm like, yay. And this is probably now 25 minutes before the flight's taking off. He said, so you got to get back down to United and get your boarding pass. And I start heading down there and he yells, Meryl, print her boarding pass. We got her on the flight. So I zoom back up to the United counter and Meryl says, okay, we'll get this figured out. And you can see her starting to light up a bit. And then she starts to type and all of a sudden she just stops typing and she starts going like this. And she's like, I can't get in. I can't get in. And then the gate calls her and says, we're closing down the flight. No one else can come on. And she's like, no, she's coming. She's coming. Wait for her. So then she tries to get on the computer again and it's like completely shut down. And she said, I can't get you a boarding pass. They've closed it upstairs. Because they've started boarding people, they've closed ticketing and boarding. I can't get you this. And Christian's standing beside her and her assistant standing beside her. All three of them are looking down at the computer. And I just looked at them and I thought to myself, I am a magician. They're magicians. We are magicians. We can do this. We can create this. And she looks up at me and she says, it's over. There is no way that I'm going to get you on this flight. It can't happen. And I, in my head, said, we are magicians. This is going to happen. And all of a sudden, she starts typing again and goes, oh my God, I'm in. Okay, here we go. I need to get your thing for your luggage. I need to get your credit card so that you can pay. And then she says to her assistant, quick, bag her luggage, put her ticket on the luggage. And her assistant does that and hands me the claim. And I put it in my wallet and she takes my credit card and typing, doing all these things. And then here's the cool thing. She was so not in panic. Like she was in the clean, powerful energy now of possibility. Because she said, okay, hang on. Let me see your boarding pass. Yes, this one's right for here. Yes, this one's right for San Francisco. Let me see your claim check. I said, I already put it away. She said, let me see it. I get it out of my purse. I open it. I hand it to her. She said, okay, yes, your bags are going all the way through to Calgary. Okay, everything is how it needs to be. Let's go. I'm going to take you through to customs, to pre-clearance. So we go racing up to pre-clearance and we get up to the, where the person's standing and there's a couple there. The guy's in the line and his wife is handing her passport over to the person. And the stewardess is on the other side of pre-clearance yelling, Elizabeth Wiltzen. And she said, she's right here. She's coming. Wait for her. And then she says to the guy, what time are you flying? And he says 11. And she said, can we get in front of you? And he said, absolutely. So they step out of the way and I hand my passport to the border person. And I give her a big kiss on the cheek. Meryl, you are a rock star. You are a magician. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for making this work for me. And then I grab all my stuff and I go in, and it's the belts off and the shoes off and all that. Anyway, don't get me started on that. But anyway, so I go through, I put all my things in, I go through the x-ray scanner thing, and I get to the other side, and I'm waiting for my stuff to come through. And the guy looking at the x-ray machine is like 90 years old. And he's moving like he's 90 years older. There is no hurry for anything. And I see my bag come through in the bin. And then this is like in slow motion. I see his hand reach up and grab the side of the bin and pull it off the conveyor belt toward him. And I'm like, no. And he turns to me and he says, I'm going to have to x-ray your bag a second time. And I'm like, my plane is leaving in 10 minutes. Like, they're holding the whole plane for me. I'm going to have to x-ray your bag a second time. And he pushes it back through the thing. I'm like, no. So anyway, while that's happening, my boots and my belt and stuff come through, and the couple who let me go in front of them, they're pulling it out and handing it to me and helping me put my coat on, and here's your thing and your. So anyway, then the bag comes back through. I gather all my stuff and I'm like, okay, where do I have to go? Where's my thing? And Meryl's standing there because she's come through pre-clearance, and she's now standing on the other side. She's going, I'm right here. I got you. Let's go. Let's go. She grabs one of my things, and we go running up to the gate, and she says, it's not her fault. They made her do her bag a second time, and you got to let her on. And the stewardess is like, okay. And I hug her goodbye, and I get on my plane, and I fly to San Francisco and then to Calgary at 6:00. So I am so delighted by this story, because 3 times I was told, you're not going to make this flight. And one of them was absolutely, it's over. This is not going to happen. And I just went, I'm not budging. I am not budging from the resonance of possibility. And what I really saw was, I had to not only have me in a resonance of possibility, I had to get Meryl there for this to get created. And law of resonance is if there are 2 very different resonances, like one of possibility and one of limitation, and they meet, they will come together. So either the high resonance is going to drop to the low one, or the low one's going to come up to the high one, or they're going to meet somewhere in the middle. And if I had gone to limitation, or even if we'd met in the middle in a place that kind of sort of limited and kind of sort of possible, neither one of those would have been possible. She needed to get up to where I was. And all I had to do to make that happen was be unwavering in my resonance of possibility and just hold steadfast to that. And once she got there, like once things started happening, she was so excited. It was incredible. Like, she just was lit up and alive and full of energy, and just, let's make this happen. We're going to make this happen, because we love magic. We love creating against all odds. We actually love knowing that we are more powerful than form. With our attitude, our energy, our commitment, our intention, we are more powerful than circumstance. And when we actually experience that in our reality, we feel so alive. Like, there's nothing better than that. We feel so empowered. And so as much as she made my day, I know that I also made hers. And it was just such a fun experience. So I invite you to play with something that you really want, that it looks like there's obstacles and you don't get to have it and you don't get to create it, and just practice choosing possibility, choosing what if it was, what if I could. I am committed to what I want to create, instead of agreeing to form saying, no, you don't get to have this. So have fun with that. And yeah, let me know how it goes. Okay, everyone, take care.